Hey guys, happy full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces and welcome to this channel. So in this video, we are going to be going over all 12 rising sign horoscopes so you can better equip yourself for the upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces. Before we get into all 12 signs, this is one of the most important times of 2024 to pay attention to because this is the first time that we have even had an eclipse in the sign of Pisces since 2015. Between 2015 and 2017, specifically March 2015 through March of 2017. That was the last time that we had eclipses in the signs of Pisces and Virgo. Now, it's really important to note that the nodes of the moon are still in the signs of Aries and Libra, so we are still experiencing eclipses in those signs as well. However, as many of you guys are aware, a lot of times, almost every single time that we have eclipses, there is sort of an overlap period. And during that time, we will start to have eclipses in the following signs that those eclipses are going to be happening in. So currently, we're having the first eclipse in the sign of Pisces that we are going to be having for the next 18 months. So we're going to have this eclipse starting in Pisces. It's going to last us all the way until 2027. The eclipse is on Tuesday, September 17th. This is going to be a culminating point because it's a full moon, but it also is going to be a sneak preview as we can look ahead to see what might come, what might emerge, what major themes are going to start to take place in our lives. And it's likely going to happen in the Pisces and Virgo houses in your chart. So make sure you stay tuned for this entire video. And of course, know that this video is not as long as it looks, because all you have to do once I'm done with the general overview of the eclipse, which I do recommend you listen to so you understand the general themes of this eclipse, then you can simply fast forward to your rising sign. And if you don't know that, you can also then fast forward to your sun sign and even your moon sign to get some insight as to where this eclipse is showing up in your chart, aka basically where is this energy activating in your life. Like I said before, eclipses are major turning points that you have to pay attention to because typically the area of life that this eclipse is activating will be something that shows up over the next 18 months. And it might even be a recurring situation or a focus on a particular area of life. And knowing ahead of time that this area of life might get a little chaotic, might have some major turning points, it's important to basically arm yourself and to be aware. But before we get into all of that, again, let's check out what this eclipse means in terms of the general overview of this lunar eclipse in Pisces. So PSA, I know this is a full moon, but this is actually not a time to manifest. So I know a lot of us love to do our full moon rituals, and this is a full moon in Pisces, no less. So a lot of us are probably looking at this and saying, amazing, I'm going to get my crystals out. I'm going to do my full moon bath, right? I'm going to do all of these things so I can work with the lunar energy. And any other time of the year, I would say, yes, 1000%, this is the moon to do that. But actually, during an eclipse, this is the one time when we essentially are playing like passenger princess, so to speak, to this lunation. And what do I mean by that? Well, essentially, eclipses are moments in time when the universe steps in and takes control of the wheel. The universe is like, all right, I'm in control. I'm steering this car or the ship or whatever this transportation vehicle is that's getting us to where the next phases of our evolution. The universe is like, I'm in control right now. And I'm going to need you to sit as passenger princess for a second, or passenger king, whatever you want, a prince. And I want you to just be over there and just witness the ride. I want you to surrender to whatever unfolds, to whatever twists and turns we make, and just simply be the observer. I know that's hard for us. A lot of us, we are always in control, right? It's never saying that you're not a creator. You are creating the outcome of this trip that we're all on during eclipse season. But at the same time, the key is always to surrender. Surrender to any chaos, surrender to any surprises that unfold. It's likely that during eclipse season, we get some plot twists. That's the point. If there's something that is meant to manifest in your life, the eclipse is going to basically catalyze that into being. It's going to make it happen. If you've been waiting for that job promotion and things have been getting in your way, suddenly the eclipse comes in, and let's say it's in your house of career, suddenly that's what's going to propel you to that promotion. Just as an example, right? So The first thing we have to do when looking at an eclipse is to look backwards and see when was the last time that we experienced this eclipse energy in these particular signs. And this was actually back in, like I mentioned before, March of 2015 through February of 2017. So the first thing I encourage you to do is to stop for a second and really think about what was happening in your life during that time. What changes unfolded for you? What area of life experienced some major plot twists, some surprise shakeups, right? Some fateful twists of, destiny that came in and essentially guided your path, maybe on a different way that it wasn't on before. So that's one time period I want you to think on. The other one that I want you to go back even further into the recesses of your memory, 18 years ago, was March of 2006 until February of 2008. That was the last time that we had this exact eclipse going on in the same signs of Pisces and Virgo, when the North Node was in Pisces and the South Node was in Virgo. That was 18 years ago. That time period will also be very relevant right now, as we may be revisiting a lot of the same themes and circumstances and situations that were transpiring during that time. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, that time was not good at all, do not worry, because this does not mean that it's going to be better or worse than it was before. If things were great during that time and now you're feeling like that same area of life is kind of not as easy as it used to be, okay, right? That's one example. But the other example could be the other way around, where things might have been really difficult back then, and now the outcome is going to be completely different, and you're going to actually experience an amazing outcome in this area of your life. Again, it really depends on your birth chart, but also on the way that you navigate this eclipse energy. We are in the most potent part of the eclipse portal between September 17th and October 2nd, but we will likely be experiencing and already feeling the effects of this eclipse going back a week prior to the 17th, so going back to September 10th, and then even in a week after October 2nd. So again, more on that to come as we dive into October. But either way, understand that this Pisces eclipse is going to bring up some shakeups to our life, some surprise twists and turns, and that's all right. The key is to surrender, to trust, to have faith. And because this is in the sign of Pisces, lean into the emotional flow you experience. Pisces is a water sign. It's a water sign known for its ebb and its flow. It's also known for its need to set boundaries. During eclipse season, we really require a lot of rest and recharge, as the cosmic energy is affecting us. It's the moon we're talking about here, guys. The moon is extremely close to the earth. It is the closest celestial body. It does control the water on earth. That's a scientific fact. And another scientific fact is that our bodies are 80% water, over 80% actually. And so we do feel the effects of the moon. And if you don't believe me, go call up a local hospital and ask them if they get more calls around the full moon. I could almost guarantee you they're going to say yes. Same thing with the police station, because during a full moon, human beings are more affected by that lunar energy. That's another reason why we have the word lunatic, for example. It comes from the word luna, which is moon. So all of it plays together to help us to understand that during this time, our bodies are going to need more rest. We're going to need more recharge. And so, because it's in the sign of Pisces, a very emotional water sign, I encourage you to set those boundaries, to take that needed rest time, to prioritize your sleep, and to pay attention to your dreams and your inner intuition. Trusting your intuition during this eclipse is really going to help see you through, as again, it can feel like a bit of a roller coaster as we experience some ups and downs along the way. But just trust and believe and know that it's all getting you to where you want to go. If things feel chaotic during this eclipse, know that it's ultimately here for your better fulfillment of your higher self, of your highest good, of what it is that your soul needs to achieve. Now, those are very broad terms, right? A lot of what I just said is very generic, very general, and that's okay. And I want us to know these things on a general basis, especially in terms of the collective, paying attention to any world events, political news, all of those things that are happening right now are going to be setting the course for the next 18 months as we navigate these Pisces Virgo eclipses. The nodes of the moon will actually shift into Pisces and Virgo in 2025. So we do still have a little bit of that tail end of Aries and Libra going on, which I will be discussing more of that on the October forecast. However, still note what's going on in your Pisces and Libra houses and in those areas of your life, which again, if you're not sure, I got you. That's what's coming up. And that way you can really be aware of what area of life might be experiencing some major shakeups. So, with that being said, listen in for your rising sign, as that's definitely going to be the most accurate one. If you do not know your rising sign, totally okay. Go ahead and fast forward, listen in for your sun sign. And even if you do know your moon sign, I'd highly encourage you check that out as well. It'll give you some deeper insights that you might feel on a more subliminal basis. So again, without further ado, make sure you skip ahead, listen in for your rising sign. And if you find value in this, make sure you also share this with any friends and family you know, that they can also then listen in for their rising sign and know what to expect during this very potent eclipse portal. Aries Rising. Aries Rising, this full moon is a culmination that's actually allowing you to take a step back. The nodes of the moon have been in the signs of Aries and Libra since last year. And so you've definitely been feeling a lot of push towards what your soul's ultimately meant to do. The North Node has been in Aries and it still is. So, Aries Rising, you are being pushed towards your higher self right now. That's a lot of work, let's be honest, right? So, this full moon eclipse is actually your first opportunity to take a step back and recharge your batteries. This full moon eclipse is happening in your 12th house, the house of isolation, of alone time, of your subconscious, and of your dreams. This full moon might also highlight your need to take better care of your mental health. So that's one question I have for you, Aries Rising. How's your mental health? Are you prioritizing all of the mundane, every single day work and responsibilities that you have, and perhaps neglecting your mental and spiritual health? If that's the case, Aries Rising, this is your chance to take a step back from all of the day to day responsibilities that have been keeping you really preoccupied and give yourself a chance to rest and reset by yourself and give yourself the necessary alone time. Pay attention to your dreams, as you might get a lot of insight as to ways that you can give back to the world, both spiritually and physically. This is also an amazing opportunity to look at your own spiritual practices. And if you haven't already been incorporating elements such as yoga or meditation, things like that into your routine, this might be your opportunity to begin a new spiritual journey where you're embarking on a new solo path of really honoring your spiritual and emotional and mental needs. Again, it's taking the emphasis off of the physical, Aries Rising, and it's putting it into the spiritual. How can you better serve your spiritual side? If you've been neglecting this full moon is your reminder that there's no more neglecting this area of life, and now is the time to begin these practices, as it's likely that over the next 18 months, you very well might notice a huge shift to the way that you serve both humanity and yourself in terms of your emotional, mental, and spiritual well being. Taurus Rising. Taurus Risings, I want you to stop right now and think about what is that big hope and dream that you have for yourself. That vision for your life that you hold on to, that you know is what your soul craves. This is the full moon that's reminding you that that is still possible. And we are not going to back down. We are going to look ahead and really dream about what it is we want to accomplish and where it is we want to go with our life. This full moon eclipse is showing up in the 11th house, which is all about your bigger hopes and dreams. But Taurus risings, this is also about your friendships, the people you surround yourself with. And so take a good hard look at your social circle, your friendships, the larger community that you're a part of. Is it in alignment? Do you feel connected to these people? Are they helping you to grow and to elevate? When you look at that ultimate vision you have for your life, Taurus rising, who is standing next to you? Who are you going on this journey with? You might find that during this eclipse, friendships come and go. You might find certain friendships have reached their expiration date, while other ones are just beginning. A seed is being planted and a huge, amazing new friendship is about to bloom. It really all depends on where you are in your life, Taurus rising, but know that this eclipse is likely to impact the larger community you're a part of, as well as the people that are a part of that. But ultimately, you have to know what it is you desire, what it is that's going to bring you the ultimate alignment. As we're talking about the nodes of destiny here, we really want to focus on where it is that my soul wants to elevate towards and who is going to help me get there. Those are the two questions you have to ask yourself as a Taurus rising during the Pisces Virgo eclipses. And these are just beginning. So know that by 2025, when the nodes actually shift into these houses for you and you really feel the potency, look around at your social circle again and look at where it is that you all are heading. If a new community is needed, then this is the time that that's going to happen, that you're going to step into that new community and you're going to be the person you're meant to be within that new space. So ultimately, Taurus Rising, know that over the next 18 months, you might experience a major shift in your social life, and that's okay. It's actually getting you to where you ultimately dream of being. Gemini Rising. Gemini Rising, I want you to really reflect for a moment on how things have been going in your career. Do you feel like you are authentically seen as what you want to be seen for and known for? Because if not, this eclipse is really stirring up the pot for you all, and it's going to activate that area of career, which is ultimately going to elevate you into the spotlight. This is a very public place of your chart, Gemini Rising. You guys are really being seen for what you're able to accomplish. And so asking yourself, what legacy do I really want to leave behind? What reputation do I want to have for myself that I want other people to see me for? It begins now. You might notice that you're finding some sneak peeks already happening around this time when you're starting to see some glimpses, some glimmers of what you can be and who you can become. But it's not without hard work, as Saturn is still involved here, reminding you that you do have tasks and you do have responsibilities that need tending to. And during this time, when we have an opposition between the sun in Virgo and the moon in Pisces, you are really having to look at what your responsibilities are at work, but also at home, and balance these two, as this is likely going to be a major theme that you're going to be traveling through and navigating over the next 18 months. Think back to 2015 to 2017, as well as 2006 to 2008, and think about what elevations in either career or just notoriety happened for you around those times. Were you more put into the spotlight during those times, and for what reason? What was it that elevated you during that time, Gemini Rising? Think back to that, and also consider that those same themes are going to be showing up for you during the next 2 years. So really look at what it is that propels you ahead, that puts you at the top of your game in your career. And it's likely that some major shifts are going to happen here. So this could be a promotion, or this could be you completely shifting career paths and taking on a completely new career. Again, the world is your oyster, and your career certainly is too. So as a Gemini rising, this is your opportunity to think about the ultimate career path you want to take, and know that if you're meant to be on a certain path, this is your opportunity to sit back and be the observer to what the universe has in store for you, as you will likely be guided and driven towards exactly where you're meant to go. This is your opportunity to ascend to whatever new perch in life you want to ascend to. The choice is yours. Ultimately, you have the ability to decide how this turns out, but do note any major twists and turns that show up along the way that are helping to guide you towards that career purpose and vision that ultimately you're meant to be on. Cancer Rising. Cancer Rising, this is your opportunity to expand your mind. I know as a Cancer Rising, you guys love being in your safe, familiar bubble. And while that's so cozy and feels so good, it's not where your soul's meant to be right now. You're actually being guided outside of that bubble and really being given a stoke of adventure, where perhaps this is the opportunity as a Cancer Rising where you're finally really feeling like you're able to come out of your shell. And perhaps you want to ascend, whether that be in terms of higher education, maybe gaining a new skill set. This is all likely over the next 18 months, as the eclipses are going to be activating your houses of higher education, also long distance travel, as well as religion, spirituality, and anything God related. And there's a lot that we can unpack here. As a Cancer Rising, you are likely to feel like you want to maybe travel, take more trips, right? You want more adventures during this time, while at the same time, you want to expand your horizons. You want to really shift your perspective. And as a Cancer Rising, I do want to warn you all that this could mean that your perspective of God, of religion, of spirituality could face a major shift. You might gain new information either through travel or through study. And that totally changes the way that you view things that maybe previously you never would have thought would ever change. Now, because of this, things could feel a little chaotic, a little overwhelming, maybe even a little scary. But again, This is why I emphasize that eclipses are moments to surrender and trust and have faith, because actually you are being put on the path you're meant to be on. And whether that is going to that foreign country, maybe studying abroad, maybe taking that trip, or maybe elevating in terms of your career, in terms of your degree, in terms of your skill set. If you've been looking to go back to school, if you've been looking to pursue new topics of study, all of this can transpire under this eclipse. So pay attention to what opportunities come your way that are allowing you to experience more adventure and to expand your mind in ways that you never thought you would ever before. Leo Rising. Leo Rising, a transformation is underway as these eclipses are activating your house of transformation, the eighth house of transformation, money, sex, all things that we really do not talk about openly. This also happens to be the area of our life that secrets are usually shown. So, as a Leo Rising, I want you all to think for a second on what is your relationship with money? That's one question. What's your relationship with money and also with the people that you share money with? And by people, this doesn't always just mean an actual person, such as a spouse. This can even be credit card companies, loan companies, student loans, anything like that, where you basically are borrowing money or you have assets that were given to you by another entity. There's a degree of trust and vulnerability that comes with this exchange. And energy exchanges might take some major ups and downs over the next 18 months as Leo risings are really navigating the much more dark and somewhat murkier, there we go, waters of the eighth house. This is the house of death and rebirth. And no, this does not mean that you're going to die, but it means that a part of you could. It means that components of your trauma, your psyche, the deeper parts of how you see yourself, those secrets that lurk beneath the shadows, ooh, Leo risings, they might be coming to the surface. And this is another opportunity to think back on 2015 to 2017 and what might have happened for you then. What secrets did you hold? What major shifts in your finances happened? Maybe you took on more student loan debt, or maybe you got an inheritance. Also, 2006 to 2008, what was going on for you then in terms of these areas of life? Major turning points. You might notice that components, the things that we don't really talk about, such as trauma, right? So this could be financial trauma, this could be sexual trauma. You might have to revisit some of these things, and this could be uncomfortable, but it is extremely healing and necessary to help you get to the next level. You might notice that shifts in the way that you approach energy exchanges when it comes to money and sex do change over the next 18 months. And as a Leo rising, you have to really take note of how willing you are to be vulnerable. How willing are you to trust those people that hold your secrets, that hold the more vulnerable parts of yourself that you don't really share with the world, right? There's going to be a transformation that takes place over the next 18 months in these deeper areas of life. So the question is, look around right now and look at what is coming up for you currently, as this is the sneak peek. By the time we hit the spring, a lot of this might be coming into more greater fruition. So really take note of what is transpiring now, what transformations are underway, and where might this turn up in the next 6 months, 9 months, and even 18 months. Virgo Rising. Virgo Risings, this full moon eclipse is showing up in your house of marriage and committed partnerships. Point blank period, how are these partnerships going in your life? If you're married, take note of how things are. And if you are on a really good path on your marriage, note that things could get even better. At the same time, Virgo Rising, if you're committed partnerships, whether that be marriage, this could even involve business partners or even really close best friends. If things have felt rocky, if there's something that's not feeling exactly the way it's meant to, it's not fully aligned, this eclipse is going to be what makes it aligned. And that alignment could end up in a breakup. You, as a Virgo rising, might be going through a divorce right now, or you might be on the precipice of one and you feel it coming. That intuitive Pisces energy in your seventh house knows it's here. Maybe you haven't wanted to look at it. The rose colored glasses are coming off during this time. During this eclipse, whatever transpires is going to make it that nothing will ever be the way it was. And this can be really good. Again, if things are going well in your committed partnerships, in your business partnerships, if you feel like these close one to one partners and friends and close people in your life, these connections are healthy and positive, then amazing. You're about to experience a radical up-leveling of these relationships, while at the same time, if you feel like commitment has not been where it needed to be, if these relationships are not healthy, if there's some toxic energy here, it will be flushed out. Commitments can be broken during this time, and you might experience some major plot twists in your relationships. Now, again, thinking back to 2006 to 2008 and also 2015 to 2017, really note what was happening around those times, especially in regards to committed relationships, even any contracts you were signing. Really take note of the people you were closest to and what changes happened. You might find that new people come into your life during this time. And if you're single, Virgo rising, this might be the beginning of a much more committed long term partnership that lasts for a very long time. Again, all possibilities can happen here, but the focus is on your committed relationships and those one-to-one connections in your life. Are they up leveling or are they being completely thrown away so you can start anew? That's up to you, Virgo rising, but know that if you feel some ups and downs in this area of life, to breathe, to take necessary time for yourself still, make sure you're filling your own cup because a lot of the focus is going to be on those other people in your life. Libra rising. Libra rising, how has your physical health been? I have a feeling that there has probably been a lot of focus on your physical health lately, also on perhaps the workload that you have. You might have had a lot of things on your plate recently. And as a Libra rising, you're really good at balancing all of it. But this full moon is showing you that sometimes you have to rest and relax and learn to not overwork yourself, especially if it's for other people. This is the house of your physical health, of the work that you do, but it's also the service you provide. And Pisces being the sign of service and Libra being a sign so focused on other people, you likely have been very, very, very focused on the people in your life, how you can serve them, how you can be there for them, maybe on a health note or even just on a practical note. And that's all amazing, Libra rising, and you're doing exactly what you're meant to. But at the same time, this eclipse is going to begin a new journey for you, a new cycle where you have to prioritize your physical health. And this could come from a surprise health concern that pops up, or perhaps you're looking to change things when it comes to your health. This would be the time if you've been considering changing your diet. This would be the time to do so. If you've been thinking about maybe adding in a different workout regimen or working with a new health coach, maybe you want to try out acupuncture or visit a chiropractor. If these things have been kind of ruminating in your mind, this is the eclipse that's going to set them into motion. Your physical body's health may never look the same after this point in time. After these next 2 years that you're experiencing a lot of eclipses in your houses of health, of physical health, of mental health, and spiritual health, a lot of elements of your health is going to shift. This can be amazing. You might feel the most healthy you've ever felt during this time. You might be visiting the chiropractor and going to the gym and eating your leafy greens and drinking your juices, and you are on a new path of health and just overall serving your body. At the same time, Libra rising, you might experience some health concerns that really pull you back and really ask you to reevaluate the way you take care of yourself. So again, all of this still comes down to the choices you make, but you might find some twists and turns, some unexpected things just get shown up and you have to handle those things. It could be that you have to do a lot of things on a day-to-day basis that make you feel tired. And the key here is to preserve your energy so you don't get sick. While at the same time, you might be given an opportunity of being able to serve people that completely lights you up, and you just throw yourself into that and it becomes the best thing ever. All possibilities are there. Question is, are you making sure that you're tending to your physical needs first? If you do that, Libra rising, all of the opportunities, all of the twists and turns of fate can actually be really positive. And last but not least, Libra rising, this is the house of pets. And so you might find that you are getting a new pet over the next 18 months, or maybe you're having to say goodbye to one. So just know that animals, pets, the work you do, and the service you provide are all getting a major spotlight between now and 2027. Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising, this eclipse is activating your fifth house of fun, of creativity, of dating, of romance, and of children. I'm really happy to report for all my Scorpio risings listening that this is a new cycle, a new era of you tapping into your youth, your creativity, your vitality, and your fun. Starting off, this is also the house of dating and romance. And so if you're single, Scorpio rising, this might be the beginning of a relationship that is really romantic, fun, and has that spark of desire that you crave. If you're in a relationship, this might be the spark of romance that really brings your relationship to another level of fun and excitement that you really get off on. At the same time, this is where you might find that breakups could happen or even affairs, as this is also the house of affairs. And so you might be the one committing adultery, or you might have this happen to you. Not to freak anybody out, but all things are possible under eclipses. The key here is to understand that whatever is happening is for your higher good. It's actually putting you on the path you need to be on. So if you have been dating of somebody and you're not meant to be with that person, this eclipse is going to make that happen. It will end the relationship. At the same time, if you're meant to be with somebody, you might start to feel the feelings right now, and suddenly things progress, and you might have your first date with them. That can happen over the next month with this eclipse taking place. So many possibilities when it comes to your dating life. Children is another component of this eclipse for you guys, Libra or Scorpio risings. This could be the opportunity where if you have been wanting a child, a pregnancy could happen over the next 18 months. If you're a woman, to yourself. If you're a man, your significant other, this is very likely. If you're already a parent, this full moon might be the beginning of you changing up how you parent. You might have some unexpected situations happen with your kids. This can be really good. This can be really challenging. Again, eclipses are really a mixed bag. We don't know what we're going to get, but we do know that what we're getting is going to bring us to what we're meant to be and what we're meant to be doing and who we're meant to be. And at the same time, nothing will ever look the same after the eclipses take place. So this might be a radical shift in parenting, or maybe you're forming a new relationship with children in your life. This could even be just regenerating the relationship with your inner child. As a Scorpio rising, you might have blocked a lot away that maybe you need to help reemerge, to help you be more youthful, to tap into your inner child, and to really enjoy the creativity that emerges from this connection, from being more youthful and having more fun. Ultimately, this is a really nice time. The next 18 months is a beautiful cycle for you to really tap into your inner child, your creativity, and your romantic side. And whatever that looks like for you, a lot of positive opportunities are on the horizon. Sagittarius Rising. Sagittarius Rising, how have things been going on the home front for you? This eclipse is going to bring you down into the things you have to tend to at home. This is the people that you live with, your parents, the people you grew up around, and the family that you've created for yourself, the home that you live in. All of these areas of life are getting impacted during this eclipse. And eclipses can bring about major beginnings and major endings. And this area of your chart is also the area that deals with a lot of endings. And so, Sagittarius risings, you might be experiencing some endings when it comes to your childhood, the places that you've lived. Perhaps your parents are selling your childhood home, as an example, and that could be a major shift that happens for you. Something completely out of your hands, but something that will change maybe the way that you visit your family, the relationships that you have with them. A lot can transpire. This is also a time when you might be looking into moving. Perhaps you just moved recently, or you're thinking of moving, buying and selling of property, anything involving real estate or even interior design. All of these areas of life, particularly ones that deal with homes or families, are really getting activated for you. And again, think back to 2015 to 2017. Did you shift your home life around that time? Did you move homes? Did you change your living situation? Did something happen with your family? Same thing with 2006 to 2008. What was going on for you then? It's likely, as a Sagittarius rising, with this activating your fourth house of home and your living situation, that major changes are going to be taking place once again, some plot twists and turns when it comes to your family and your home life. So, again, while you might be noticing that you want to really throw yourself into your work and your career, as there's a lot going on in that area of your chart as well, this eclipse is really bringing you back down, and it's kind of making you almost feel a little heavier energy because there's more responsibility and there's more focus on a part of your life that you don't show the world, but it still is extremely necessary, as this is what keeps you grounded. And as a Sagittarius rising, groundedness is so important because you're so passionate. You need something to really set that passion upon. And so really focus on the people that you live with, the home that you've created, and notice any shifts, any ups and downs, any major twists and turns that happen for you. Breathe and surrender to whatever changes are occurring in this area of your life, because ultimately you are being thrusted into a new era of home and family life, which is ultimately for your highest good. Capricorn Rising. Capricorn Rising, I want you to stop for a second and look at your immediate environment, the people that you talk to, the places that you frequent, the information that you listen to on a regular basis. All of these areas of life are getting a major spotlight put on them during this full moon eclipse. And it's likely that changes are going to transpire around these areas of life. Your local community, your neighbors, even your siblings, and the places that you frequent on a day to day basis could all experience a vastly, majorly different shift than you've ever had before, or likely that you haven't had over the last 9 years. If you think back to 2015 to 2017, were there shifts that happened in this area of your life? Did you begin teaching or learning a new topic? Did you start frequenting a new place that maybe you hadn't gone to before? Were there changes to your car? Because this is also the area of your chart that deals with your car and your transportation. Also, siblings and neighbors might have experienced some ups and downs or some situations and circumstances that unfolded around those times. 2006 to 2008, same exact thing. Think back 18 years ago to what your immediate environment looked like then, what major occurrences were happening for you. And it's likely that those same themes are going to be showing up for you now that we're having the same eclipses in these areas of life. So if there's a topic of study, maybe you've been wanting to teach on a subject you really are excited about, you really want to dive into, perhaps you want to go back into student mode. These are all examples of things that could happen during this eclipse. It also is likely that neighbors might come and neighbors might leave during this time. So you might notice changes in the people that live nearby. Siblings is another component of this eclipse for you, Capricorn Rising. If you have siblings and they are relevant in your life, pay attention to the relationship with them, as circumstances could occur with your siblings that force you to really think about those relationships and perhaps how to heal them and how to communicate better within them. Being that this is the house of communication, your overall communication style could experience a rapid shift over the next 18 months, and maybe some updates, some happenings or occurrences come in and really force you to change the way that you think about things and that you talk about things or even teach about things. So a lot can transpire in this area of your life, whether this be the places that you frequent, the people you talk to in your local neighborhood, or even the things that you're learning about. All of these are forcing you to basically look at how you can change and up level these areas of your life, because after these eclipses take place and even during the time that they are, nothing will go back to exactly how they were prior. So take note of the changes that are happening. Remember to breathe and surrender to the ups and downs of the eclipse and trust that all of it is leading you to your higher good. Aquarius Rising. Aquarius Rising, these eclipses are going to be activating your houses of money. So I want you to think about how things have been going in your financial life. If you feel like your income has been where it is and where you want it to be, then consider ways that things could elevate in terms of the way you earn income. It's likely, Aquarius Rising, that over the next 18 months, you're going to see a shift in the income you earn. This could be making more money. This could be a change in the way you make money. Perhaps you're going to change from working in an office to working at home, or maybe you're going to go more digital. Perhaps you leave whatever source of income you have right now and you take on a completely different one. It is not unlikely that the way you earn income and the source you get it from could experience some unexpected shifts and plot twists. And this is actually really good, because if you think back to 2015 to 2017, this is an opportunity to consider what changes happened in my financial status and how did they turn out. It's likely that they actually helped you to get to that next level of the way that you earn money and attract resources into your life. So again, thinking back to 2015 to 2017, if you're younger, this could have even been when you first entered the workforce and you began really making money. Even going back further, 2006, 2008, right? This is an area of life that is all about money. This could have been when you started getting an allowance, right? Whatever it was for you, Aquarius Rising, the focus is on the money you make and also simultaneously how you feel about your self worth and your self value as a result of your income. So investments could be a major source of focus for you over the next 18 months. Pay attention to any opportunities for investment that pop up. You might also notice a major shift in the ways that you hold your money. Maybe you go from more physical currency to digital currency. A lot could happen here where you really change the way that you make money, even the way that you spend money. Paying attention to your budget, Aquarius rising, and your expenditures. All of this can be summed up to a basically a major shift in your financial status and in your feelings of personal worth as a result of that which you earn. Pisces rising. Pisces rising, the spotlight is on you. This full moon eclipse is showing up in your first house of self, of your physical body, of your appearance, and your overall persona. How do you feel? That's really the key question here. And thinking back, I want to really start you all off by really reflecting on what happened for you between 2006 and 2008, what changes in your physical body occurred, as well as your maybe personal style and just how you saw yourself, who you were. And then also 2015 through 2017. What changes happened for you then? What major shifts in who you were, how you saw yourself, your personality, your persona, again, even your physical appearance? What transpired for you then? As it's very likely that a lot of that's going to come back up for you around this time. And over these next 18 months, you will be experiencing a similar shift. Now, the focus is going to be on you, Pisces rising, and that means taking care of yourself and setting those necessary boundaries. While you might have had a lot of focus recently on the other people in your life and those committed partnerships, the key here is personal development, and that means solo work. You're really elevating who you are, how you show up in the world. What is your aura? What is your physical vitality? What style do you give off? And ultimately, how do people see you? This is your opportunity to take whatever circumstances land in your lap during this time and really surrender to the changes and the shifts that are occurring. You might be feeling this more than anyone, Pisces rising. So make sure you rest and recharge your batteries. And the key here is to trust your intuition. Pisces is a water sign, and as a Pisces rising, you already are very intuitive. You might even notice a change occurring where you're becoming more and more psychic during this time when these eclipses are taking place. And so really note how you are elevating. This could result in changes in the status of committed relationships, whether that be bringing in new ones that elevate you even more or getting rid of those that are no longer helping you to get to that next level. Either way, Pisces risings, this is all about you and your chance to shine, elevate, and ultimately shift in the most positive light who you are and how the world sees you. Really take use of this time. Take advantage of the opportunities this eclipse is giving you. Rest and surrender and trust that all is working out and guiding you towards your highest path. So, as we wrap up, just a reminder that eclipses are those moments in time when things are going to change and never go back to the way they were. And there's something beautiful in that because currently we are in a moment of catalyzing whatever it is into our reality. Whatever thoughts and feelings and dreams and desires we have, this eclipse is going to be what brings it into being, into existence. And what better opportunity than to know what area of life, what better gift and a gift of awareness than to really know what we can expect and what area of our life, of who we are and our experience on this earth. How is this getting affected? Where is this getting affected? And how can I better use the energy to get me to where I want to be? That's the goal of astrology. That's the goal of these horoscopes. And I hope you got value from that. And if you did, please make sure that you hit the like button, that you subscribe, and of course, send this to all the people that you love so they can also benefit from knowing what they can expect over this next month as this eclipse portal takes place between September 17th and October 2nd. But really, guys, it's a full month and it begins an 18-month cycle. We have a lot more coming with the Pisces Virgo eclipses, so definitely stay tuned. We have a Libra eclipse coming up on October 2nd, more on that to come, and of course, more horoscopes to come as well. So thank you all for tuning in. I wish you all a beautiful and calm eclipse week, and I will see you all again in the next video.